F1 for what it was perfectly executed, and I was totally satisfied. Like it was you sit down, sometimes you sit down to a great burger. You're not having surf and turf with paired wines and all that. You sit down for a great burger, and a great burger is satisfying. That's what this movie was.
Yeah, it's like a Wagyu burger, though, cooked on like a 200-year-old grill that's really nice and seasoned by an expert that knew exactly when to flip it. Every character, and I realized how much I hate characters in movies. Sorry, and I'm just like going because they're telling me to like them. I liked every single character in this movie, and they were all, even the people they're supposed to be bad.
Yeah, you know who I really like was Damson Idris's mom, that actress who played his mom. I loved her, and you know, she was great because she could have just been the bitchy, you know, mother that's going to protect her young, but she wasn't. She had a wisdom to her, and I love that actress's face, and I love when she smiles, and there was just the movie, and that's again a Kaczynski thing. All the characters that you met, there's kind of a small story about a girl that works in the pit crew that has to redeem herself, you know, and there's all these little things throughout the movie that it all paid off and it all worked.
Even her,
I got to call out Damson. I got to call out Damson Idris as well, because he's the one who had the character arc. Or at least the biggest one in the movie. He understood that assignment, and he came through as a young actor, which was very incredible to me.
I know it's not the same, but Lanterns. I kept thinking, like, if they can capture any amount of this dynamic for Lanterns of an older veteran who maybe has some regrets, but also has some aspirations to do one great thing before maybe he can't do great things anymore. And then a young buck who has something to prove, but maybe needs to learn from that. Like, it really was applicable to a bunch of different genres. It was just so good.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like, as soon as the movie started, I was like, oh, this is like a 90s movie with like shot with modern stuff. Like this, it felt great. And when I got done, my friend that I went to see the movie with, you know, he was like, yeah, it was a racing movie. I'm like, it was, but I didn't really need more than that. I really liked the movie. I was like, if they just did this would be worth going to see in cinema. Like this is why I used to go to the theater all the time, was just to go experience stuff like this. I didn't feel like I was being preached at. I didn't feel like the movie was like, well, if you're really thinking of the deeper, I was like, it's a great movie with great characters. And I absolutely, I laughed out loud, but in the best way possible. But I won't spoil anything. But at the very end of the film, there's a moment where like, it's kind of the all hope is lost moment, and a thing happens. I go, are they gonna do the like trope here? And they do, and the music and everything sells this moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm so happy they did this like this. It's so good. Brad Pitt absolutely killed it. Watching this reminded me, I'm like, I don't think Brad Pitt gets enough love for being kind of a staple of cinema, because he's put out bangers early in his career, mid-career, late career, and he was a perfect guy for this movie. Javier Bardem was amazing. He was such a
still.
Yeah, absolutely. And Javier Bardem adds something to this film that I just didn't expect, because he's just kind of perfect everywhere that he shows up.
Yeah, he stood out more than in any other movie I've ever seen him in.
I thought he was kind of the heart of it, because it was his. I mean, obviously he's the moving agent because he goes and he was sort of like, even when at their lowest moment, and he just says some real fun, deprecating, and it's like, that's the kind of friend you want.
Yeah, that surprised me too. I didn't realize how much Javier Bardem was going to have in the movie from the trailer footage, but their chemistry, his and Brad Pitt's, were one of my favorite parts of the film. Great synergy through all the cast, but I really like their friendship.
Yeah. To me, there was also several schmaltzy moments, and it's amazing how great actors can turn schmaltzy moments into authentic moments.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You know, this was the 4th month in a row that Warner Brothers has a win. You know, they had Minecraft, they had Sinners, they had Final Destination Bloodlines, and while this was an Apple production, Warner Brothers is distributing it. So for 4 months in a row, you know, I think this is again a manifestation. I mean, you know, I always feel that when I talk about studio heads, but Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, they were on the ropes before Minecraft came out. People thought they were going to leave the business, that they were going to be drummed out because of a number of high-profile box office failures, and their desire to bet on filmmakers is really starting to pay off. I mean, people forget that Minecraft was directed by the director of
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite directed Minecraft. I mean, that was a reach. Then Ryan Coogler, Betting on Sinners. I mean, one of the #1 grossing original it's not IP yet, but an original film made. And then, of course, bringing back a moribund Final Destination franchise after 14 years. That movie is unbelievable how much money that movie's made. And now you have F1 that opens at #1, and next month they have Weapons coming out, and they've got a little Superman movie coming out in a couple weeks too.
And ironically, Superman is the one people are most worried about.
Yeah,
about the entire slate.
Well, what's the other thing I really loved is when I got done with this movie, with this movie, I was like, you know what? If this is all we get from this character, from these characters, awesome. But I could watch another one of these movies.
They're already talking about it, and obviously Tom Cruise has mentioned that he would do a Days of Thunder crossover. And
I love that idea. Cole Trickle meeting.
Yeah,
I love it. I was like, it's a lot though.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah,
I think the problem is he's Sonny has won so many races. How many are left that he hasn't won?
Yeah. I think that's
the point. F1 was the final race that he needed to win in order to be considered great.
But a rival would be cool.
You know what also too, and Jerry Bruckheimer produced both Days of Thunder and F1. So to have him,
the key thing is having Jerry Bruckheimer, I think.
Yeah, and Kaczynski's already worked with Cruise in Top Gun Maverick, and Brad Pitt. Obviously, there's a love fest happening between these two guys because they've known each other for such a long time. But I do think that's kind of a fun. That idea of taking those two franchises and putting them together it's fun.
Just one last thing based on what Epic Mike actually said when he said, like, yeah, it's a car movie, 90s, but it's with modern. Yes, it's a car movie, but the way the Hans Zimmer soundtrack sounds and the technology they use with the cars and the LCD screens everywhere, I kind of felt like it was a sci-fi, even though it wasn't sci-fi.
No, I totally with you. I'm with you.
Okay. It didn't feel like a Driven or something like that. It felt something else.
Well, it's got this like really frenetic pacing. Like there's so many cuts in this film, and normally if you're not if like bad director or bad editor, you have those cuts to hide things. This movie, it's constantly moving, so you never feel like you're just sitting there watching two cars drive. You're like, oh man, and the angles are changing. And then what I love is how frenetic it is once again, I won't spoil anything. There's a scene in this film where they completely switch it up, and it's thematically appropriate for them to do what they do, and it makes this beautiful moment. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And it's in juxtaposition to all of the craziness. But yeah, the sound in this movie is crazy. It's crunchy, it's hard, it's loud when it needs to be. And I love that about it too. I don't know anything about Formula One racing, and I'm sure this is very Hollywoodized, but I'm okay with it because they made it seem really freaking cool. And that's what I wanted, is to like feel like I was part of something special. And it does. And it feels international, but it feels accessible to any audience that was going to sit down and watch this, which I also love about it. I really, really hope this movie makes a crap ton of money, because we need more movies like this.
It needs to with its budget. So that
soundtrack reminded me of Tron Legacy.
Yes, that's what I said. It goes part and parcel with it. This movie would not be the same without that soundtrack.
Okay, so clearly we're having this love fest for F1. I wanted to show you another discussion about F1 and get your thoughts on this.
I saw this. I didn't mind that music.
I did.
That's hilarious.
She's right.
Oh, there we go.
That's so good.
Who's saying that?
As
the romance
says,
is unnecessary.
The new downfall
did you feel the romance was forced?
This person that made this, by the way, did in the comments say that was just in all good fun. Like, they enjoyed the movie. But formulaic means the formula has been done before and it works. Yeah, I like the romance option. I saw it from the beginning what was going to happen. Because
plus they had great tension.
Yeah.
But another thing, one of the things they did in this movie, they bought F2 cars and they rebuilt them and built the cameras into the cars. Mm-hmm. So they were able to show you racing in a way that, I mean, obviously it was reminiscent of how they shot Top Gun Maverick, but we'd never seen, like they did a thing where they were looking at the car's point of view and the camera would switch 180 degrees and look at the driver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are things that we hadn't seen before. And Stephen Maroney, who edited this film, my God, did a phenomenal job. I can't even imagine how much footage they had of these car racing scenes. And they really did go around the world to different F1 races. And, you know, it was definitely something that we don't see very much anymore.
Yeah, even absolutely. In Vegas. All right. Yeah. Let's see. We also have an article here about the Marketing Bonanza, the F1 Marketing Bonanza. Let's see.
Highlights.
I think you have the notes for that.
Yes. So
hold on. Let me
bring it up.
Get it up here. There we go.
Lovely Robert mentioned a couple of them about the camera rigs and that they went all over the world. So production and authenticity. Filming took place at real F1 circuits, including Silverstone, Las Vegas, Belgium, Abu Dhabi, and Daytona Beach, aiming for high realism, which it came across. Hamilton helped ensure accuracy, stating he wanted the cars to be in the proper gear at every turn. Liam Lawson, F1 driver, commented, "It's a movie at the end of the day. It's the same if you're watching Top Gun, but at the end of the day, I think the movie is incredible." I think they're alluding to what Mike said. That might be a little Hollywood magic, but for the most part, they got the nuts and bolts of it accurate. Marketing and sponsorship, $7.9 million has been spent on TV ads, 80% of it during sports programming, including the Super Bowl pregame trailer. Over a dozen blue chip sponsors are tied in, contributing 40 million plus in brand revenue. Brands include Mercedes-Benz, Heineken, EA Sports, KFC, Geico, Tommy Hilfiger, T-Mobile, and Expensify. Tommy Hilfiger's Met Gala stunt with Idris is a tearaway APX GP racing suit that went viral, leading to a surge in brand visibility, and even Expensify reported a 4-time spike in user signups after the stunt. Fans have even been spotted wearing gear from the film's fictional team, APX GP, with one marketer calling it, saying, one of the most surprising things I've ever seen, and now I need to get an APX t-shirt.
Yeah. I love Tommy Hilfiger and his buddy Johnny First Face. Yeah, the thing that I kept thinking while watching this movie is, how the hell did they film it? Because you knew that they were chasing around all these races, but there's a lot of footage in here. And I mean, did they really just hire all these cars to actually do a race and then film that? I mean, this is the movie magic that we used to have years ago. The way it was marketed, the way it was presented. We just don't get it. I think that the reason they compare it to Top Gun Maverick is there's just a sense that we don't get these kind of movies anymore. The kind of movies that we watched in the 80s and the 90s. And I think it pays off when you realize if it worked great back in the past, why not replicate it today rather than go down the path we're currently going?
It's just so cool to see so many people involved in this movie that are experts at their craft. All of these artists coming together, so many departments, and the detail and for authenticity it's truly amazing to see something at this scale, and just all of these people come together. That's why I think a lot of people like film specifically, because it's this collaborative art form. It's just really cool to see it on that scale, something like this, of all of these artists and experts coming together to make something so amazing and something truly memorable at the cinema.
Absolutely.
All right. Any final thoughts on F1?
It has a $250 million budget, so it really needs to do well. Thankfully, it's got critical acclaim and word of mouth. But
I can't wait to see it again.
I can't wait to see it for the first time. You guys are selling me on this movie. It sounds incredible. I feel so
tried to
left
see it again
out.
and
Like,
it was
I want to
sold
be
out.
up in the hype with you guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and this is definitely a movie you want to see on a premium screen, whether it's IMAX, Dolby, or 4DX.
I went and saw it in a nice theater, but it wasn't IMAX. When I got done, I was like, I am so bummed that I didn't see this in IMAX first. Like, I definitely would go back and watch this film again on IMAX just because of the experience. So